Welcome to On Friday Inside. I am your host, Aaliyah, the Purpose Midwife. I want to thank you so much for joining us this beautiful, cold Tuesday evening. You could have been anywhere doing anything, but just chose to spend it with us. And for that, we're totally grateful. Y'all, I'm so excited about tonight's topic because as we're all moving into taking care of our temples and our bodies, and not just because the new year is coming up, but because it's time to do that, right? The topic tonight is how toxic is your life? When we have my good friend and sister Terri Byrd coming back on our holistic wellness coach, she will be coming on live with us shortly. But I want to thank our sponsors real quick. I want to thank sensational-galore.com for their support and sewing into the On Friday Inspired Network. Y'all go check out sensational-galore.com. They have handmade body butters, body scrubs, they have lip gloss, bonnets, you name it, they pretty much have it. And they have scents for the men and for the women. So check them out, sensational-galore.com. We have mombizboss.org. So if you are a multiple aspirational manager, and you are an aspiring entrepreneur or you are an entrepreneur, you want to connect and collaborate with some awesome women, hey, connect with them, mombizboss.org. I said .com.org, mombiz, B-I-Z, boss.org. And then finally, if you don't have any of our books, which I don't know why you wouldn't, you want to go out to onfridayinspire.com, or you can get them on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, all of those good places. And you will be able to sow into my ministry by doing so, or you can sow into here. And then we're going to talk about some more wellness opportunities as well, because I just got my vitamins and stuff. Y'all, it's time to take care of these temples. I'm telling you, as we're shifting and getting older, a lot of times we're needing things that our bodies, we need more of the things that our bodies don't, didn't have to have as much of earlier in life. But anyway, without further ado, we're going to bring on our wellness coach and big sister and friend, Miss Wellness Coach Terri Byrd. Welcome back to On Friday Inspire. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm well. So welcome back to On Friday Inspire. For those who don't know who you are, I want you to introduce yourself. You're not new to us, but for those who are checking in and plugging in for the first time, maybe you're new to them.
Awesome. My name is Terri Byrd. I am a holistic wellness coach. I live in Gastonia, North Carolina now, originally born and raised in New York. I'm wife, mom, ordained minister, and wellness advocate with doTERRA for about 11 years now. My passion is helping people to be well. I it breaks my heart when I hear that somebody's sick, that somebody's in the hospital, that somebody has passed on, because we don't have to accept these things that we are dealing with in our lives. And I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. Thank you for having me back. It's a blessing. It's just a pleasure. So thank you.
Oh, absolutely. So you pretty much answered my question of what does the topic mean to you.
I jumped the gun. I jumped the gun.
Jump the gun, because I always ask my guests, because it's one thing for me to introduce you, and it's a whole nother thing for you to introduce yourself, and then it's another thing to hear from your heart what the topic means to you. And it said, you just told us, it hurts you to know that someone's sick, and that when there's, you feel like I could have helped them in some capacity, especially with the natural things that God has given us. So yes, yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
Now, let's start talking about, when we think of wellness and we think of toxicity, we think of chemicals automatically, you
Yes.
know. But where do you want to start with this topic tonight? Where do you want to start?
You know
Is it
what's really funny? I was thinking about this today because I've been excited to talk about it. And you're right. We do think right away chemicals, we go there. But I think today, because we are in the holiday season, happy Thanksgiving. We just had a wonderful weekend.
yeah.
Um, I think we should talk about relationships,
Okay.
the toxicity that can, you know, we've all got those family members that come for the holidays. and we roll our eyes and we, but I think sometimes what we don't understand and what we don't realize is that there are natural solutions even for those things. So I thought the thing I would start out talking about is our favorite, yours and my favorite, adaptive.
Yes, 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 yes.
So this
Ooh,
is our calming blend. And it was designed to do just that, to help people who deal with anxiety, who deal with stress, who deal with um you know just those moments. I call it my stay out of jail free card, because for those of us perimenopausal, postmenopausal ladies in the building, it also helps you to manage that calm, to in the midst of the chaos. And sometimes when we're cooking and we're shopping and we're preparing and we're working and we're doing all the things, we also have this stress that we have to manage. And a lot of us, I don't even think really realize how much stress affects the body. We don't even understand how important having that outlet, to manage the stress. So for me, it's adaptive. I take a little bit in my hand, I roll a ball it in my hand, and a few deep breaths. And no matter what is happening in the world, I find that place. Within 30 seconds of inhaling a pure essential oil, the brain chemistry shifts. So this oil is such a gift and a blessing, right? Because you can diffuse it, you can apply it to the bottoms of your feet, you can use it on the little ones who are running all over the place and screaming and yelling, and they'll relax too. Or your students maybe who are we're in finals, right? We've got college students that are taking their final exams, and believe it or not, our young people are stressed out. Our world is toxic. It's toxic in the things that the thoughts that they're thinking. It's toxic in the news that's constantly running. We are constantly hearing negative things, and then we sit down at a holiday dinner with a couple of relatives who maybe we got some crunchy relationships with, and we put on these smiles and we pretend everything is okay, but it's not. And so having this blend in your home to be able to put in a diffuser, you literally watch the atmosphere shift. You can attest to that. When we back
mm,
in June, when we did that event for the ladies, everybody was strangers. Nobody really knew what to do or what to say. And as the oils began to go around, everybody began to calm down and relax. And before they left, they were all almost friends, right? Besties. So
right.
I think that one of the things that we don't talk about a lot of times is that for through the holidays, especially for people, relationships are hard. Some people are dealing with loss, they're dealing with grief. We've got those that have lost people, and this is going to be that first holiday season without them. And it's important to remember that we can find natural ways to ease some of the does it take the grief away? No, but it helps you to cope. It helps you to manage. Does it make you a little less angry with that person? Maybe, but it calms you so that you are in charge of your emotions and how you feel, and it helps you to be able to navigate those moments a little bit easier. So I thought that was a good toxic point to start with.
Yeah, it is. It is because a lot of times, so many people are taking medications that are keeping them like zombies. Um,
Yes,
and so, we're not saying you don't take a medication, consult your doctor. What we are
absolutely.
saying is that you can, I mean, when I tell you, when you had us put that in our hands and everybody breathed it in, every woman just went into a place of, oh my goodness, I let everything go. You know,
Yes,
within seconds, and you just saw the countenance of every person's face in the room just shift.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's powerful.
Yes, 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 yes. Now, uh, real talk with Reggie said I was a zombie, and he put zombie in all caps. Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, because that's what a lot of those medications unfortunately do. What I love about this is that This does come in a soft gel as well, so you can take them internally. DoTerra, any DoTerra oil that has a supplement label can be taken internally. What I love is that you don't have side effects with natural solutions, and you don't have to take it in place of.
Yeah.
You can use both as you transition your way into a more natural state, right?
Okay.
So we don't have to, just like you said, consult your doctor. And there's a lot of naturopath doctors now who are really coming on board. They're recognizing the power in natural solutions. They're understanding that people, our bodies were not made to process synthetic things. And so, you can do both. That's what I love. You don't have to choose either or. If you've got, especially, a lot of us have acute situations that we're dealing with, do both. Use your oils, breathe, because maybe they'll be able to dial that medication back a little bit, right? As you start to transition more into that natural solution. So I think a lot of times people think because I'm a holistic coach that I'm totally anti-doctor, and that's so not true. I do like to partner with doctors who, if your doctor doesn't listen to you, I don't care how great a degree he or she has, she is not the expert in your body. You've lived in your body for X amount of years. For me, it's 56 now. So you can't tell me how this body responds, right? So, but what we have to find is partnership with the medical profession, because a lot of them now, years ago when medical students went through school, they had nutrition, they had all of the things. I've talked to doctors most recently, and they get about 6 weeks of nutrition. It's
That's not
scary. 6 weeks. It's very scary. So it's they don't, and it's not their fault, right? That's the way that society is kind of rolled. That's the way big pharma and things have come along and said, hey, this is what you need. They show us pictures of people dancing and smiling as they're taking their medication, while they run this list of side effects that say, may cause nightmares or death, and they're smiling, everybody's dancing. But we have to understand that we have the power to care for ourselves. And I think that's really more of what I do than anything else, is remind people. Remember back in the day when you were a little girl, your grandmother went out in the backyard and she pulled some kind of herb and made a tea for you, or she took some kind of thing and made a paste and put it on your chest if you were sick. We have to go back to those natural remedies. Those are the things that we've gotten away from. Those are the things that our children today have no idea about. And those are the things we need to go back to. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen in these next few months as we're having these changes in our world and our administration. We need to make sure that we can take care of ourselves, that we can be as healthy as we possibly can, and that we don't have to necessarily rely on um, pharmaceuticals and synthetics. We have natural solutions, natural options, and we can be empowered to, because we're the experts on these bodies.
absolutely. What do you say about the person that is the one that I gotta have mine? When you walked into the building, the event that we had, both events that we had, you were like, "May I unplug your plug-in?" Plug-in. Let's talk about the toxicity that we're inhaling with that. Because so many of us do it. I remember I could not go without mine getting empty. I wouldn't allow it to get empty. Now, because I'm doing that more natural options, it gives me a headache after prolonged access to it.
Isn't
So
it wild?
those, huh?
Isn't it wild? Okay, so let's understand that I too am a reformed scented candle girl. Okay, we want to smell. We want to walk into our homes and they smell good. We want to, you know, what we did not understand, and it's funny because now they're even marketing things as having essential oils in them. What you have to understand, the difference is there are essential oils that are on the market. They're loaded with fillers. They can load them with, if it has one drop of an essential oil in it, they can call it pure, because the essential oil industry is not regulated. So when Glade tells you, or one of these other, hey, it's made with essential oils. Yes, but flip that label over and read that ingredients. and find out what else is in it because it's not pure. The reason I partnered with doTERRA is because they have tested all of their oils. We have certified pure tested grade oils. If you get a bottle of essential oil from doTERRA, a 15 milliliter bottle holds 250 drops, and that's all that's in that oil. Now, if it's a blend, it'll tell you it's a blend. For example, our respiratory blend, Breathe, it's a blend of a few different oils, but they're all listed on the back, and every one that's in there is 100% pure. The thing with the plugins and with the fragrant candles and all of those things, anything that says fragrance is chemical. Like when you look at the back of a bottle, or you read the back of a perfume, you read even the back of your any one of your personal care products. Your girl, I'm in the process right now of of searching for the right foundation and the right cosmetics that aren't loaded with a bunch of stuff. Um, for that very reason, because our environment adds to our toxic load. Our toxic load are the things that our body takes in through the foods that we eat, through the products that we use, our body washers, our shampoos, what you wash your dishes with, what you wash your laundry in, all of those things. I was watching a video, and I hope we'll be able to kind of tag it maybe in the comments when you post this, of a toxicologist, and she talked about how she had infertility issues. She had problems because of the plastics, because of the plugins. And I am one, it's really funny. And think about this. As a kid, I had asthma, suffered with it horribly. Um, if I walked into, and I had perfumes, I'll make you laugh. So I had my winter perfumes because I'm born and raised in New York. So I had my winter perfumes and I had my summer perfumes. My winter perfumes were usually a little bit heavier, had a little more oil content to them, so they were a little richer. I couldn't wear those in the warmer months because they would trigger the asthma. I didn't realize that I was making myself toxic, right? So I just had two separate sets. I had my summer spring perfumes. I had my winter fall perfumes because in the colder weather I could tolerate a little bit more. After I just found doTERRA and I stopped using scented candles and I stopped using plug-ins and I changed to doTERRA's laundry detergent. I remember the first time I walked into a cell phone store and they had plug-ins in. And within like 30 seconds, I started to wheeze. I started to itch because remember, that's in the air too. We don't realize, and for our babies, for those of us that have littles in the house, please do not plug those things in. Our children do not even have the ability to detox their bodies until they're 10 years old. I just found this out recently. So, those plug-ins, those scented things, your aerosol, air freshener sprays, they attach to the dust in your home. If you've got babies crawling around on the floor, let's tell it, we don't always get, there's going to be some dust, there's going to be some dirt. They are crawling around in that. And then they are inhaling that. And then they are the ones being affected because, in order to even get rid of it out of your body, you've got to have good products that you can detox with. And babies and children can't even do that until they're 10. So they are hanging on to that. And we wonder why we are dealing with so much ADD in our children, autism, things like this, because mamas are carrying babies, we're inhaling all of those things. We're using those toxic products on our skin, and it's affecting our children and it's affecting us generation after generation. So we have to, that's why when I walk into a room, especially when I've been invited to speak somewhere as a wellness as a wellness coach, the first thing I say, first of all, I have to unplug them so I can breathe, right? That's number one. Number two, I have to explain to the folks. That's usually one of the easiest things for me to explain, is the toxicity of that level. So I unplugged them, right? And then what did we do? We plugged in diffusers with
Yes.
pure essential oils going through. The whole room shifted. And it wasn't that we didn't smell good. The room smelled amazing, right? Most people started going, what is that? But what happens is that using essential oils instead, you get to shift mood. You get if someone's not feeling particularly good that day, you can put oils together that lifts mood. Wild orange, peppermint, I'll put in a diffuser, and that lifts mood. One of our blends, Shinrin Yoku, it is the forest bathing blend. It actually helps the body to return to homeostasis, which means if your blood pressure is high, it'll bring it back to normal. If it's low, it'll bring it up. If your blood sugars are running high, these are things that we can use in our homes to not only make the house smell good, but you feel good. And it affects your body to make the physical changes as well. So that's why I remove plugins and scented candles. And if you've got them in your house, after the show, I want you to go take them, gather them all up, and throw them in the trash, because these things can cause ADD. They can cause brain fog. They can cause even up to tumors and cancer. I have a girlfriend on my team. Her neighbor next door many years ago, his wife had brain tumors. They took her to many doctors and they'd given her up to die. And they finally took her to this one neurologist, and he said, "Do you have those plugins? And are you using air fresheners and that blue water in the toilet?" They said yes. Yeah. He says, "I want you to go home and throw all of that away." They'd given her like 3 months to live at this point because the tumors were so rapid. Because every time you flush that toilet, that blue water chemical sprays all over your house. It sprays all over that room. It's on your toothbrush. It's yeah. I'm grossing you out, but I want you to understand. First of all, when you go into the bathroom and you flush that toilet, close the lid before you flush the toilet. Okay, I learned that from Dr. Oz many, many years ago, because those little micro droplets spray. And if you've got that blue water swishing around, or maybe it's lavender or whatever, get rid of it, because that chemical is covering everything. That spray can spray. They did a test, a blue light test, where they showed it was all over everything. Um, and so and therefore too, you're getting whatever little particles you left in. Yeah. Anyway, um, but think about that. It's on the toilet paper roll, right? So when you go to the bathroom next time and you're wiping yourself, that's what you're using. And we wonder why we deal with cancers and sicknesses and things like that. Um, there's a better way to make things smell good. Until you get a diffuser and some of these essential oils, go the old fashioned way. Put a pot on the stove, drop some cinnamon sticks, some cloves, your orange rind, and your lemon rind, and let that sucker boil and just steep. And that steam will blow and it will be beautiful in your home. There's no chemicals, no toxins to it. It's natural. And those were the things that you had in your house anyway, right? Because how many of us, we peel a lemon and we throw it out? Don't throw it out. You peel an orange and you throw it out. Put it in a pot, boil it with water, use everything.
Wow. We don't think about something that simple, because you did those things and stop feeding your daughter a lot of fast food, and you shifted her her life completely.
Completely. Completely. Yeah. So when my daughter was in the first grade, no, kindergarten, I got a call one day. I was working outside the home then, and they said that she had had a seizure. I went to the school. By the time we got there, she was, everything had passed. She was kind of in that, they call it the refractory phase. And she was, they said, let's take her to the doctor. So I took her to her primary care doctor. She was running a little bit of a fever, so they just figured it was something that the fever triggered, that she was coming down with something, and that she'd be okay. She stayed home with me that weekend. I think she went back to school maybe like that Tuesday. That Wednesday, we went back to. They used to get out of school early. We lived in Florida then, and they used to get out of school early afternoons on Wednesday. So it was movie day for the ladies. My husband and my son bowl. So the fellas would go to bowl, and it would be movie day for the girls. And we went to go see Jimmy Neutron. I'll never forget it because I've never seen the movie till this day. And she had her popcorn, and we were just sitting there laughing and talking. And my mom was with me, and the lights went down, and the movie began to play, and I hear her go, and I said, "Is she choking on popcorn?" So I turned to look, and my baby is in the midst of a seizure, another one. So my mom stayed with her. I ran down to the lobby. They stopped the movie. We were blessed enough that there was a man, off-duty EMT, and he asked mommy if he could take her vitals. She said absolutely. Long story short, um, this began a journey for us. Um, they put her on medication because the protocol for seizures is 2 years on the medication with no breakthrough. They told me she would forever be on this medication. They said she'd probably never drive. They said at this point you need to put the baby monitors back in her room. She was 5 years old at this point. We didn't have baby monitors. They said do not leave her by herself in a bathtub. Do not. I mean, the protocols are take. She couldn't have any toys that blinked. She couldn't have. I mean, she couldn't watch TV in a dark room because the photosynthesis could trigger a seizure. All kinds of things. And I had just begun with doTERRA then. I was so new to it, didn't know anything. But one of my leadership, Hope, called me, and she's also my sister. And she called me. She said, Terry, what do you want me to do? And I said, I need a protocol for seizures because this is not going to be my baby's life. I don't know what all of this is about. And I don't know where it's going to take us. But what I do know is that I'm not accepting any of this report that they're giving me. I had everybody from Facebook to I remember I went to Facebook and I said, I don't care who you pray to. Jesus, Buddha, whatever, Allah, get them on the phone. My baby's in the hospital and I need a miracle. And it really, as I sat there that night in her hospital room, we spent about a week in the hospital. They did all kinds of tests. They ran a EEG, which is a scan of the brain. They discovered that there was nothing scary, thank God. There was no tumors, nothing like that. But there was some little something on the right side of her brain. And the doctor said to me, just consider it almost like a glitch. And when that switch flips, she seizes out. So I sat down and I said, Lord, I don't know what it is that you want me to do. I don't know why you're allowing this to be, but I need you to walk me through this. Let me be a willing, open vessel so that I'm not hard headed and stubborn, but that I can do what needs to be done. And so the first thing he walked me through was switching her from cow's milk to non dairy milk. I started doing research. Well, first of all, cow's milk is made for baby cows, and cows have 5 chambers in their stomachs. So that milk breaks down for the baby cows. But for us, it's really mostly pus and blood. If you go research it, you'll be grossed out and you'll never drink, you'll never drink cow's milk again. And a lot of us think we are lactose intolerant. It's not that we're lactose intolerant. We were not meant to drink cow's milk. The human body was not designed for cow's milk. And if you think about it, we are the only mammals that drink the milk of another animal. So the first thing we did was switch that. I switched her to almond milk. And then we started getting further and further away from preservatives, from fast foods. What do our kids eat? They eat McDonald's. They eat Burger King. They eat all of the fast food things. Well, those foods are loaded with preservatives. And if you go and Google, there's a YouTube video of a photographer who took a Happy Meal, sat it on her coffee table for 180 days, and she filmed it every day and she put it together like in slow motion. Her dogs wouldn't come near it. It didn't have any flies or bugs on it. The only thing that happened after 180 days was that the patty was a little bit shrunk, but the fries were still intact. Well, what that says is that if that food did not rot and decay sitting out on the coffee table, it's not breaking down in your body. That means that's not food, and you don't want to eat that, and you don't want to give it to your children. So that began the journey for us, really. And that's began the thing that turned us around. So Hope she brought me 2 oils. She brought me Balance, which is our grounding blend, and she brought me some frankincense. When in doubt, frank it out. I started using Balance and frankincense on Spencer's belly, around the belly button every day, because that's where the majority of our nerve endings are, right? That's where the umbilical cord was. That's where all the blood vessels flow through the body. And on the bottoms of her feet, back of her brainstem, every day. The beautiful part about these oils as well is that they permeate the blood brain barrier. So they correct and heal at the cellular level. It was 2 years that she was on that medicine. And one night she had another breakthrough seizure. And my husband came in and he said, "This will be the last one." He prayed over her, and it was the last one. And we continued on with these oils. My baby is 16 today. She'll be 17 the end of this month. She's getting ready to start taking her test for her driver's license. She holds a job. She's been bathing by herself for over 9 years now. We are 9 years seizure free, 10 years off the medication.
Praise God.
And God is good. That began
Hmm.
the journey. That began the journey.
Yes. And so the parent that's listening right now, that's an encouragement to them to say, hey, wait a minute, my this diagnosis does not have to be my
No,
diagnosis.
it does
You know,
not. It does not. And one of the things I encourage people to say, stop saying things like my medicine, migraine. Stop that. It's the medicine, and you may need to use it for a little while until you get to the place where it's no longer needed. But stop claiming it. We create with our creator, our God gave us. How did he create? He said, "Let there be." He used his mouth. What we speak, we are made in his image and in his likeness. So when we speak, we create. When they told me that she will never drive, I said, "Nope, you're gonna have to, nope, throw that away. She will drive. She will live a thriving life. This will not be her life." And she used to say to me sometimes, because when she would have seizures, it was like she would totally black out. She'd have memory loss. So when she'd come back, she'd wake up in a hospital or she'd be in an ambulance, and it was pretty scary. And she said, "Mommy, am I always going to be like this?" And I would look at her and say, "No, baby, this is a season, and it is a temporary season, but it will not be your forever. I promise you that."
mm,
And when that's the other beautiful part about these oils. doTERRA means gift of the earth, right? This is the medicine God gave us in the garden. And this is the medicine that the enemy has tried for decades and hundreds of centuries to take us away from, because he doesn't want us to be well. He doesn't want us to be whole. His goal is to take the human race out. So yeah, they're coming for us in our food. They're coming for us in everything that we do, because the design is he's mad. He got kicked out of heaven. He can't call himself redeemed anymore. So he's trying to take out the ones of us who can. And there's a better way. It's like the word said, "I show you a more excellent way." There's a more excellent way. And this is one of those beautiful tools that God has given us. And it's been scientifically proven that when you lay hands with these oils and anoint, we watch God move in ways that have just been. I've watched. Child, I can tell you stories. I had a sister who literally sliced off a piece of her thumb, and it knitted back together again. So miracles happen for sure. And we are, as God's people, we have an authority that we don't even begin to possess.
that is so true. Mr. Reggie said he's been telling himself that same thing now. That um, it's temporary season, but it's not his forever. Because I
Amen.
tapped in what you were saying.
Amen.
Um, and I typed in also when you said there is a more excellent way. You know, because so many times when people get a diagnosis, whether it's whatever the diagnosis is, they allow that report to override what God has already said,
Exactly.
you know, and
Exactly.
and stop coming in agreement, as you said, with what um, that diagnosis says. That's not your cancer. That's not your your seizure. That's not your whatever. It's not
Whatever
your.
it is. It's not.
You
It's
say
not.
it's the. I have to go take the medicine for
Hmm.
now. It's temporary.
Temporary.
It's
I have
temporary.
to take the medicine. Don't attach ownership to that. No, not at all. A couple, 2 summers ago, 3 summers ago now, my mammogram came back funny, and they said, it could be, it might be, and everybody kept going. oh, what are you going to do? And I was like, the God that lives in me, cancer can't live in me, period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's no room in here. The Father, Son, and Holy Ghost abide in here. So there's no room for cancer. Sorry.
Right.
And it was the procedures were worse than anything, but it did turn out to be, I think they called it LCS. It was funny cells. They got them, they froze them off. I had to have a little procedure. And now, because of these amazing oils, there's not even a scar there. You can't even tell.
Amen.
You
Amen.
can't even tell. But it also it gave me the blessing, because since then I've had so many women who said, I had a mammogram, and I was like, girl, don't worry about it. Just go ahead, take the test. You're gonna be all right. But what we do need to do is make sure that our foundational wellness is correct. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure that what we are putting in us is correct. Make sure that we aren't taking in those toxic things, and that we don't have them in our environment, because you know what, yes, the enemy's out to kill us, so let's not help him out.
Right. Right. That's so true. Let's shift for a second to the Zyto scan that you did for me. Y'all,
Yes.
my goodness. When I tell y'all, she sent me the link. I downloaded the app and I had to sit still in good lighting for 40 seconds. In 40 seconds, that thing read me my rights and everything under the sun. And so I want to be able to help others because this was my story as well. I'm shifting because see, I went through 20 years ago, I went through, oh, I'm finna get healthy, I'm going wellness. And then sometimes you fall off the wagon when it's time to get back on the wagon. Because
Yes.
it too was my story of having just a normal mammogram and then getting called back in, which scares you.
Yes.
You go back in, and then they told me, "Oh, wait a minute, you got to get undressed again because we got to get do an ultrasound." Y'all, that's some scary stuff. But when you know who God is, I went, honey, I lay hands, started speaking to that, and
Yes.
as they were coming in the room to tell me that it was just what did they say it um was just something that they were not worried about is benign and to come back in a year. As they were telling me that, my husband was texting me saying, "You already got a good report." He
Yeah.
was saying it as they were coming into the room to tell me that. So we had already come in agreement with the word of the Lord.
Yes.
So, and all of this happened last week, y'all. So, for those of you who have gotten a a report other than that, continue to speak healing over your body until you see
Absolutely.
the manifestation of it. Now, Terry, how would a person um real talk Reggie said, let's connect, please. Amen. Amen.
Yes.
So how would a person who's saying, "Hey, I hear y'all, I want to do what y'all are doing. I want to shift my atmosphere in my household to put everything into where I'm working with the well, with the place of getting it fully well,
Yes.
environmentally, mentally, emotionally. Because y'all, when I tell y'all, that doggone Zyto scan messed me all the way up. But when I said messed me up, y'all, it was because it told me everything. It reads your skin and the blood. If I'm remembering how you explained it to me, the blood flow under
Blood
your
flow
skin,
in your face.
the blood flow in your face, y'all. It read the blood flow in my face for 40 seconds. And in 40 seconds, it told me about the detoxing that I needed to do. It told me about my immunity. My immunity level was not this. It went so deep. It even told me about the lack of sleep that I was getting. So y'all, if y'all need to reach out to Terry and get this done, and get some of these products. Like I said, I don't place my order for my vitamins to get my
Yes.
body into where it needs to be. We're lacking as an American. Our American diet is horrible. We're not getting what we need to get. So many things are not authentic, is not pure, and we're getting a lot of GMO stuff. And so we just really need to know what we're putting in and ingesting in our bodies. And thank you for the app. What's the name of it again?
The Yuka app.
The
Yuka.
Y'all, download this. It's a free app, Yuka app. She told me about the Yuka app. And I've been kind of scanning everything crazy, y'all. So I happen to have I think I had some water from Dollar General or somewhere. I had a bottle of water and I scanned it and it said 100 out of 100. I was like, okay, cool. You can scan your food, your drinks, and see what you're ingesting. Now, there was some snacks that we had here that I scanned, and it said bad in red letters. It told me the number, and I was like, you know what? We won't be buying that again.
Won't be
And so,
buying that again.
as we're, you know, let's work with, doing the things that work with to help us move forward in working with and giving our bodies what it needs, purely what it needs.
Absolutely. So Yuka app has been such a blessing. You can scan your cosmetics, ladies.
Mm,
You can scan just as you're going through the store. Look at your, like you said, it just helps you. It gives it a letter grade, so you can make a better choice, a number grade, I should say. Like you said, water contaminants was something that came up in my Zyto scan as well. So scan, knowing what water you're drinking, right? um the and I put your link, your referral link in that in the chat, Leah.
okay,
um
thank you.
Knowing what you're drinking. I was one who was buying bottled water from Aldi. We've changed that. Looks like Deer Park is the 100 out of 100 now. And you said you went to, was it Dollar General or?
I had Dollar General and I had oh my goodness, I scanned two of them, two different ones, and they were both the Crystal Springs. They
Okay.
were both 100 out of 100.
I think it's important that we share that, because a lot of times people think, oh, if you're trying to be healthy, then you got to spend all this money. You got to go to Whole Foods, and you don't. You can find great. Aldi is a great option. It's a great alternative. I've found a lot of good things there. I found a few things that I'm like, okay, we won't buy that again. Um, and also when it gives it when it gives it that number, read why it gave it that number. If it said it was poor because of additives, then obviously you don't want that. Some of the things it's saying are bad are because of saturated fat, and you know what I mean. So it helps you to just manage your diet. It helps you to understand, oh, this is way too processed. Oh, I shouldn't, there's too many ingredients. I've said this before. If it's got more than 5 ingredients, try not to eat it,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just super processed. And there's a lot of things now that are in our foods, anti-caking agents. One of the things that, with my daughter, that started that whole idea was reading the labels. So I used to go to Publix and buy their rye bread, because there's nothing better than in the morning, right? You wake up and you're walking through Publix, that baked bread is baking. Well, one day, just out of curiosity, I read the label: dough conditioner,
Conditioner.
dough conditioner. And it's in all of our breads that we like so soft. We like our bread soft. Well, it's dough. They literally put a dough conditioner. And so it made me say, well, if it softens the dough, what is it doing to our organs? And especially, what is it doing to the organs of our growing children, whose bodies still have not reached that level yet, right? It's bad enough as the adults, but what's it doing to our kids? So, and we wonder sometimes why our kids are labeled as behavior problems, or they've got hyperactivity. Well, they've got chemicals literally surging through their bodies. So
Mm-hmm.
grab that Yuka app before you buy that next juice box for school. Scan it. It was really great. I was in the I was in Sam's Club recently with my daughter with it, and she likes the Ocean Spray cran grape juice. But when she went to scan it, it said bad. Yeah. And so we scanned the apple and Eve instead, and it said good. It gave it a much better, it was non-GMO, it was 100% juice. And she was like, okay, well then that's the one we're going with. And it wasn't even a discussion. She is one of those who's like, well, mom, we're not eating that. If that's not real food, it's real easy. And if you start playing that game with your kids, well, scan it. What's the number? When they're like, can I have this, can I have that, I don't know, let's look and see. When they start to understand, well, wait a minute, they can understand 0 out of 100 or 20 out of 100. They get that. and they'll begin to make their own choices, and you won't even have to police it.
Wow. Y'all, so y'all make sure y'all download that. That is a free app. And it, I mean, when I was scanning that, and I happen to have two different waters here, so it was good. Great evening to you, cousin. So, Jerry, for the person that's saying, hey, that Zytoscan thing that Aaliyah said she had that read her blood, her blood under through her face in 40 seconds and gave that deep breakdown of what was going on with the body. How could they, reach out and get that? How could they purchase that? How could they, whatever, how can they contact you for that?
Yes, they can message me. Facebook is the best way to grab a hold of me. I'm Terry
Okay.
Byrd, and I will send them a link. Um, I usually charge $25 for the Zytoscan link. For your listeners today, we'll do a special on fire to inspire $10 scan. How about that?
What? Y'all hear that? Just catch y'all a part of me, y'all, my family.
Just cause.
So y'all, she'll do the Zyto scan instead of 25. She's actually gonna do it for 10 for y'all. So hop on that. Tell her you
Yes,
want
yes,
the
yes.
Zyto scan. And y'all, it only takes about 40 seconds, but it gives you such an in-depth breakdown of everything. Yeah, I was sitting there like, oh my Lord, I
Yeah,
gotta
it
hurry
gives you all the body systems.
up.
It gives you the best products for you, and it also gives you the services, right? Like
Yeah,
if you should go get a lymphatic massage, or it walks you through everything, and that's what we do. Once your results come in, you get a copy of the scan, I get a copy of the scan, and we set up a time to sit down and go through it together, so that it gives you a really great starting point. What it does is it lets you know, like, what do you need to address in your body right now. It's those things that right now that can't wait. Let's get involved. Let's handle these things right now. And what starts to happen is, as you start to make those changes, right? I think that's the biggest thing for people when they think about being healthy. Nobody's saying go to your pantry and throw everything in the garbage. If you can, then let's do that. But most of us can't do that. We spend a lot of money and we work hard, right?
Mhm.
But if you make those little changes, something as simple as, instead of going to Dollar Tree and buying that bottle of Fabuloso, get yourself a spray bottle, fill it with halfway with distilled water, halfway with white vinegar, and squeeze a whole lemon into it. Use that to clean your countertops, to wipe down your tables. Um, Throw a little baking soda in there, tablespoon or so. Um, and of course, contact us so you can get some of these great essential oils, because they are antiviral, antifungal, and antibacterial. But start making those changes. Stop using these caustic fumes. Um, small hinges swing big doors. If you make those little changes, right? When people even come to me for nutrition coaching, and they say, "Well, where do I start with my diet?" Let's stop drinking soda. Now, hold on to your pearls. I know. Not my Pepsi. Is she coming for my Pepsi? Okay. Did I mention I am also a reformed wild cherry Pepsi addict? Yes. So if you drink, if your thing is, hey, I'm drinking 5 sodas a day, I want you to, for the next week, only drink 4 a day. And after a week, I want you to only drink 3 a day. And each week you keep cutting it and adding in a water. In a few weeks, you're going to be able to kick that habit. Nobody's saying that you can't ever have a soda again, but I want you to read the label. Scan your soda with your Yuka app, and you tell me if you want to drink it. High fructose corn syrup can cause an enlarged heart. High fructose corn syrup is just about everything that's on our shelves today, and it's the thing we feed our children. If they want something sweet to drink, get a lemon or an orange, a pitcher, put some water in it, and some raw sugar. Go to Aldi. You can get a bag of raw sugar for $5. Let's start making those changes, and let's do it ahead of, everybody makes the big change in January. You've got life to live today. Can we start making changes tomorrow morning? Can we start getting up in the morning and saying, hey, for my cigarette smokers, you need black pepper essential oils. We can dip toothpicks in the black pepper essential oil. Every time you want a cigarette, you use that instead. It satisfies that thing for the mouth and your hand, you need something to do, it satisfies that, and we can start cutting that back, right? Same thing. Same thing for you. If you're smoking a pack a day, you need to cut that down. That pack needs to last a week. Let's start backing down, because do you realize that every time you smoke a cigarette, and I don't know who needs to hear this, but every time you smoke a cigarette, your blood vessels are constricted for 12 hours. So if there are 20 cigarettes in a pack, you do the math. Your blood vessels are not, they're constricted, you're not getting the right oxygen, you're not getting all of the things. So, and your blood is what carries your nutrients to your body. So you're impeding. And if you've got little kids at home, you owe it to them to be healthy, to be around. What does life look like without them? I tell without you, I tell my people this all the time. For the folks who say, girl, I got to have my fill in the blank, what does life look like for your family if you are not here?
I am typing that in because that's real. And when we look at it like that, then we won't allow this thing to be bigger than us. Because
Yes.
sometimes you'll say, well, I've been smoking cigarettes for 45 years. But what does life look like without you?
Without you.
Your grandchildren, do they are they dependent upon you?
Do
Are
they
you
get to know you?
right? Because you have a lot of grandparents raising grandchildren right now.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
So Terry, what about the person that's listening to us that says, I hear y'all, I'm ready. I didn't see that in that link you were saying a moment ago. I didn't see it.
I'll put it
Um,
in again for you.
okay, I did not see it. But the person who's saying, "Hey, ladies, I hear what y'all talking about. I'm getting that Zyto scan. Y'all even messenger her message, send her a messenger on Facebook. What for the people who are not on Facebook, you can also use Messenger even without having Facebook because
You
I have.
can. I'm also, I mean, listen, you can put my number in the chat, Aaliyah. I'm not, you know how I am. You can, you can, you want me to put my number in the chat? I'll put my number in the chat. Text me.
But you're on IG too, right?
I am on IG. I'm T Bird 111 on IG.
Okay. All right, but make sure y'all send her a message because again, you're getting that special price of $10 instead of
Yes.
25 to get that Zyto scan. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm telling you, that's the best 40-second scan I ever had in my life for it to give me such an in-depth. I was blown away. I mean, I kept showing my husband these numbers. I was like, "Do you see this? Oh my
Isn't it
goodness!"
amazing? I mean, it gives you your resting heart rate, it gives you your stress level, it gives you your skin age.
It did, yeah.
It did. And it gives you all of it lets you know all of the body systems, whether your digestive system needs help, if your endocrine system needs support, it gives you all of the things. I it's To me, it's been a real game changer because it's allowed me to really be able to pinpoint with my clients, hey, let's start here,
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of times when we make those changes, or we're looking and we're saying, I need to be healthy, I need to do this. Cool. Let's just focus here. We'll focus here for 90 days, and then we can add in as we go along, and it makes a big difference. People see results, and it's amazing. So I'm excited because you've really jumped in on the journey, and I'm excited for what is to come for you.
Oh, honey, I'm excited too because y'all, when you think about um your health wise, again, we're getting older. I hit 50 and October 18th, and so now your body's needing other things. And to some of the women that were that are some of my clients, or people that come to me as a coach, so to speak, they're talking about menopausal and premenopausal and things like that. And so these oils, especially adaptive, will be your best friend. Uh,
Yes.
and so there's so many things, but the Zytoscan also helps you see what's going on within the body. So now that you see these levels so out of whack, now it makes sense, and you see a physical something that connects the dots for you. Because that was like, oh wow, you know,
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty part of it, right? Because when I'm sharing with you, hey, you don't have to have hot flashes. You can try this, you can do that. But when you really look and you see the numbers, that what your body is talking to you and saying, hey, this is the support I need. This is where I need help. And a lot of us, because we're not necessarily, if we don't have chronic illness, we think we are okay. If for those of us who who are not dealing with overweight or obesity, or we don't have diabetes, we think we're okay. But sadly, a lot of the things, especially as women, our our bodies are quiet about. A lot of people think, well, I don't have any pain, I don't have any aches. Those are the things sometimes, though, those are the folks that scare in a scary way. They have cardiac issues all of a sudden out of nowhere. And especially as women, we carry stress in ways that most people don't even fathom. And we feel like it's just normal. That's or we take that, well, you're not a teenager anymore. Guess what? We were meant to thrive, not just survive. We were meant to live. I did not bring these children up to be adults for me to now be some old lady in a wheelchair. No, I've got work to do. I've got things that I want to do. I've got a life that I want to live. I want to empower more people to take care of themselves and to be well. And we get to travel and have a good time and enjoy they should be golden years, truly. They should not be years of sickness and doctor visits. And we should be able to enjoy ourselves, keep our cognitive function, keep and walk and talk. I'm watching my mom. She just turned 76. She is thriving. We don't have to decline. We don't have to accept sickness as the norm. We can be healthy and strong.
absolutely, positively, absolutely. So y'all, so Terry, we girl, can you believe we almost an hour?
I know. Well, you know what happens when we get together.
So because I mean, everybody's hanging in there, on Facebook, on YouTube. I mean, they're really, really like, oh my goodness, they're hanging in here because it's time for us to be proactive and not reactive. We should not have a diagnosis before we say we got to take care of our bodies.
Absolutely.
No. So with that said, um, how would you say a person needs to just get started in some capacity? What would you say, for the person that says, I just want to get started? What would you say for that person?
Get started. Let's jump in. Reach out to me, reach out to Aaliyah. Let's schedule a virtual coffee or in-person coffee if you're nearby, and let's get started. We don't have to wait. Download the Yuka app. Start
Yes.
scanning and add,
Down you
so
got.
whatever you've got in the pantry, that's fine. But now start scanning so that when you replace, you're replacing with a better choice. Drink more water, less soda, and get some sleep. And if you haven't been to the doctor for a physical, go get one so that you can have a baseline of where you are. A lot of us are afraid to know and we don't ask. But get a baseline and let's do Zytoscan and let's get you going. There is no reason that even if something is that has to be dealt with, you won't deal with it by yourself. You got a community, you've got a group of people that love you, will pray for you and will oil you up, and you'll be all right. I promise.
I tell you. All right, so on Friday, yes, for our listeners, y'all can get that Zyto scan again for $10 instead of 25. Message her on Messenger, at Terry Byrd, and then she's also on Instagram and Terry Bird 111,
T Bird 111.
T Bird 111.
Yep.
And then
And just tell me I'm on fire to inspire. That way I know you get the discount.
she said, just tell her I'm on fire to inspire. So, y'all, it's time to take care of yourself, take care of your health. It's time to be here for our family. It's time to be vibrant, like the skin. And I'm just going to share this part and then we're going to get on off. But the thing scanned my skin health. And it said, even with me having all of these things that I need to detox in my body, I'm 50 years old, but the scan said that my skin age was 43. So I'm like,
Yes,
okay, so it's gonna be better when I get everything back in wet.
absolutely.
And I'm not
Absolutely.
sick, but it's just time to detox so that my numbers are better. You know,
Absolutely.
I'm not sick. I'm healthy. I'm healthy as an ox. But that's when you do these things while you're still healthy, so that you can stay
Absolutely.
healthy. That's why.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. Because if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
absolutely, absolutely, positively. Any final words that you want to share with the um the listeners tonight?
Just, again, Aaliyah, I want to thank you for always being so willing to share your platform, and I appreciate you so much. I want to see all of our people thrive and grow healthy and strong, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and even financially. It's time for us to take that next step forward, to shed the fear, to let go of the things that have held us back, and to really just jump in. We've got so many wonderful blessings that God has for us, so many things that He's spoken over us. Let's go. Like there's nothing to wait for. You don't have to wait for the new year. You don't have, we can right now, right here. Let's take that step forward. And it's amazing what is about to happen. I'm so excited for what is happening. And I'm grateful to God for it.
Yes, yes, yes. Y'all heard her. She said, let's go. Let's take control of our health and our wellness. Let's shift some things. Yes, we may have some things that ain't so good in the pantries right now, but download that Yuka app and let's start scanning from here. Let's build from here. And you can't do everything cold turkey, but if we start somewhere, it's for us to get started. So thank you, thank you, thank you for coming in and sharing with us. Y'all, we're going to continue to push taking care of us so that we can be here for our children and our grandchildren. All right,
Yes.
thank you again. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Blessings to you. Mwah. All right, y'all. So, y'all, if you missed any of this, y'all sow this broadcast into somebody's life tonight. Go over to YouTube. When we end, I want y'all to go over to YouTube. Go to Aaliyah the Purpose Midwife on YouTube and share with us something you learned tonight or something that touched your heart. Whatever. I want you to go to Aaliyah the Purpose Midwife and I want you to put a comment over there. And if you are not already subscribed, I want you to subscribe. But y'all, it's time for us to take care of our health. It's time to be in control. I have outlived. My mom died at 44 of cancer, and I am now 50. And it's time for us to be all that we can where we are now. So thank y'all again for listening in. Y'all, next week we're going to be celebrating our 10-year anniversary. Yay! Of On Fire to Inspire, walking in the obedience of what God said to do. So y'all come on back next week. And if you want to share anything from any of the shows that your favorites or whatever, y'all reach out to me and let me know because we're going to be doing that as a part of our show next week as our anniversary celebration. All right. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Thank you for taking this hour with us tonight. And we'll see you same time, same place next week on Friday Inspire. I'm Aaliyah Take, your purpose midwife.